Hi, my name is Chris Porco. I was just called by the Times Union saying that my parents were found dead this afternoon. I was wondering if you had any information for me. I'm at school in Rochester, New York. I'm Acadia Einstein, and this is Strangeful Things.
Sheltering in place is not advised, as your survival cannot be ensured in that scenario.
Well, this practically caused me to just get you destroyed.
Unsolved, unresolved, and super complicated.
Strangeful Things.
Welcome, everybody, to Strangeful Things. My name is Acadia Einstein, and I'm here with my bestest pal, Shuey.
Howdy.
That's right. That's Western.
That's all you get. Just a howdy.
Howdy it is. We are excited to bring you the season finale of Strangeful Things Season 6. This is Season 6.
We did get approval to end on a cliffhanger, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but I changed it. So
I was only kidding.
Oh.
I remember
we originally had
doing that.
Well, now we've got a bunch of shit. Well, never mind.
Well, originally we were going to have the 2 other episodes. Yeah,
we'll talk about that at the end. So, but for now, if you never listened to us before, this is a weird place to start. But whatever. We talk about horrible things and weird things and everything like that. But you know, we want people to be able to chuckle as they think about the horrors of humanity. So we like to bring a comical twist. Sometimes. I mean,
sometimes. Only at the worst times. I mean, you know, whenever.
I can't leave the bar at making myself laugh because then we would have no show because I can make myself laugh all day.
You make yourself laugh very easily.
Just thinking about things from American
Just making
Dad.
fart sounds and the guy is rolling on the floor.
Yes. So, as is customary for our way of life here on the show, we're going to start with what's new and good. That brings you, the audience, close into the lives of us, the podcasters.
But not too close because that's close. A dark, sad, angry place.
Where you need to have a proxy.
There's something new and good in there somewhere.
That's new. Oh, that's not good. So what do you got? What's new? What's good? What's now? What's wow?
What is new? You know what? So I was talking to my therapist, and she sent me to this website where you answer a bunch of questions, and it tells you where your belief system kind of fits. I could ask you questions about what do you think of what God is, or what do you think of the universe or the soul or whatever.
Right.
So mine. I am, according to this site, a liberal Quakerist.
The fuck?
I'm a liberal Quaker, yo.
But what does that mean? You eat oats?
I think I like oatmeal. And I was against slavery from the beginning. So, hey, go me.
Yes, I guess. Technically, that is true, yes.
Yes, I don't have anything else really good. We are all right, one real thing. We're getting our bathroom redone, and the guy has started the work, and we're very excited to have a new place to defecate.
Well, I blew out the first one, so I feel partially responsible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. All right, what's yours?
Okay, so new is...
Wait, you can pick out individual things, just a new thing and a good thing?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be both. It could be new and bad.
I was
old
always
and good.
believing that it was, well, yeah, I've done bads, but I didn't know that you could do a new thing like, hey, I got a new pair of socks. And a good thing, which I guess socks are pretty good too.
Yeah, I jizzed right in those socks. Immediately.
Look at how they keep their shape.
As a matter of fact, that's I ordered them during because Amazon sure is fast. All right. Stop being gross. All right, new. I made keychains for the show coming up this weekend. And they came out nicely. I have not done nearly enough.
Last weekend, depending on when you listened.
Oh yeah, or 3 years ago, whatever. They came out nice.
They look awesome, by the way. They look awesome.
And
very excited for that.
My travel posters that were made by our incredible artist Denise. I got aluminum.
Oh, damn.
Pictures, like I can print them on the aluminum, and then I got frames as well. So that's high end shit right there.
Hot damn! Yep. You're like a professional at this shit now.
That's fucking well. I didn't actually do it. All I did was buy the stuff. I didn't actually put it together, but whatever. And
that's the hard part, really, getting the materials.
Yeah, you're right. And then
it really was just getting Brett Favre football. After that, it was all just happened.
Fuck that guy, man.
I didn't want to say Tom Brady.
You know the only good thing about
and nobody cares about Matt Stafford.
No.
What? That
on the old SportsCenter when SportsCenter was good, whenever he did something, Dan Patrick would just go Favre. So that counts really kind of as my new and my good because it's better. I have all the stuff to make stickers, but they just keep not coming out right. So sure, you're probably gonna have to come over to the factory and help me because I don't know that one.
That's part of the stuff I want to talk about. So don't worry about it.
It's not going right.
Big plans here. Yeah. Season 7's going to be
Season 7, lucky
out.
7, baby. That's the lucky one.
That's just about when most shows have gone over the hill.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
Starting that downward.
Yeah, but for you and me, it's only like it's only like season 3.
It's only a third full season.
Yeah, so it's fine. The story that we're going to tell is about a dude whose name is Porco. And he's not
P-O-R-K-O?
No, C-O.
Oh.
It would have been funnier if it was K-O. But
that would have been funnier.
Not one of the things that I used for research made fun of his name at all, which is fucking lame.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean,
is he the bad guy or the good guy? I don't know where we're going with this.
Well, that's part of the fun. So
I hate fun.
His name's Christopher Porco. He was born on July 9th, 1983. I looked up what happened on July 9th, 1983. Fucking nothing. Nothing.
I had just finished. What did we just finish? What, 7th grade?
I don't fucking know. I really think that I have brain damage.
Chips was a big hit.
Brain damage is going to come up later too. So,
oh, good. Way to tie it into your life. People love that shit.
His parents, Peter and Joan, Peter Porco, he was almost Fat Spider-Man.
Peter Porco, the pumpkin eater.
I bet the odds that people didn't say Fat Spider-Man to Peter Porco is kind of fucking zero. So he worked for the state appellate court. And he was a clerk. He was a court clerk.
Oh.
And his wife, Joan, was a speech pathologist. They got married in 1974, and they had 2 sons. First, Jonathan, the older one, and then Christopher a little while after that. And they lived in Del Mar, New York, which is it's by Albany. The fucking Hudson River is long, man.
Yes,
it's so long. It just goes on and on. And did you know that Broadway in New York City doesn't technically stop until Albany?
Really?
It's the same road.
I did not know that.
Yeah, see that? New York facts.
That's trouble.
For the purposes of our story, we're going to take Jonathan off the board right away. He was 23 years old.
Hi, John.
He was in the Navy, where he sailed the 7 seas in South Carolina.
Oh, I was going to sing that.
Yeah, but okay. He's not a part of the story, at least right now.
All right.
But
bye.
Christopher, he was a student at the University of Rochester. Now, for those of you who are unaware, the University of Rochester is a private research university in Rochester, New York. It grants undergraduate and graduate degrees, including doctoral and professional degrees. It has about 6,800 undergrads and 5,000 graduate students.
That's a lot of facts about the university.
The average cost after financial aid is $30,000 a year. They graduate.
Thank you, U.S. News.
They graduate 85% of their students, and their acceptance rate is 35%, which seems really low.
I don't know. Everything's kind of shifted.
Yeah.
Like back when we were at schools, like these schools took like 40% of the people. Now it's like 10%.
And remember, everybody out there, especially, everybody that listens to us for the most part, has already paid off their student loans.
Yes. Or they've got graduate school ones.
If you haven't paid off your student loans yet, and everybody's talking about, student loan forgiveness and everything like that, and you hear old geezers like Gen X people like us go, well, we had to pay ours, that's not fair. We're not mad. We don't want you to not get your loans paid off. We just want someone to give us money because money. So don't get it twisted. If I say forgive the student loan debt and also give me a big chunk of change, that's the only reason. And if you're mad about your student loans, blame Joe Biden. And not current incarnation Joe Biden. Old Senator Joe Biden.
The original one, Senator Joe Biden.
Because he was the one that made it, or he was instrumental in making it so that student loan debt could not get thrown into bankruptcies, which meant, hey, if you can't go bankrupt, that means you have to pay it back. So we'll just loan money to any asshole. And then the schools were like, woohoo, we're going to charge more because all these people are going to get free money to go.
Yep.
So there you go. But that doesn't have anything to do with this.
Well, good thing you brought it up then.
Doesn't enter into this story again.
Really? He's not actually part of it.
No, we're going to talk a little bit about...
Any other presidents a part of it?
No. Christopher Porco and some of his fucking scamity ways.
CP.
If he was a horror movie, he'd be the Scamityville horror. He was a scamming little shit.
Son of a bitch.
Maybe I shouldn't tell it until... No, I'm going to tell it now. The motherfucker was home visiting the house on 2 different occasions. He stole laptops from his family and sold them on eBay.
Nice.
But he sold them more than once. And he even cut the screen so that it looked like this is how they got in, whatever.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough for him. And this is the part where I get, because people that are hustlers, you know what I mean? They've always been that way. They can always figure out how to save this money or that money or whatever like that.
Yeah, how to work the system.
Yeah. And we're not that. We're the opposite
No.
of that. We look for ways to get screwed and then don't think about it.
I want to make sure I pay all my taxes.
Right. And you know, just tell me how much the car payment is. I don't care about the price of the car. Just tell me
care how much it actually costs.
Right. So and all that shit. But then the other side of that coin is that if you're going to live like that, you can't keep looking backwards and kicking yourself in the ass about all this money that you could have saved.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, just, that way it lies madness. But
you just have to be happy with what you spent the money on.
If you're the kind of person that steals your family's own laptops, sells them on eBay, and then once they've sold, sells them again, and obviously, since he doesn't have them anymore, he gets the money, but he doesn't ship it. And when they reach out to contact him, his brother goes, yeah, no, he died.
Nice.
Now, and this was 2003, 2004. Back then, you could get away with that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not getting away with that now.
No. Although, why eBay is never in the conversation when they talk about the big websites or anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's because it's part of one of them, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Is eBay owned by itself? Is it eBay and PayPal together?
Just like Yahoo.
Yeah.
Just clunking along. So, Chris was a fucking scammer. He was a little shitball. But he managed to get in school. Until he got kicked out of Rochester.
Oh, boy. What did he do?
Bad grades. He had bad grades.
I knew he wouldn't apply himself.
See, his job had been, he worked at a vet. And, oh, by the way, they got some electronics stolen as well. Funny that.
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, I'm sure the veterinarian electronic health records in 2004 was valuable software that people really wanted, but
he took all the thermometers.
Yes. So
all those doggy heinies they've been in.
He, at the end of the first semester in 2003,
right,
he got such shitty grades that the University of Rochester kicked him out.
He got kicked out after one semester?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think that was possible. I thought they always gave you a second chance.
So he enrolled at Hudson Valley Community College.
Well, that sounds like a school from like Law and Order.
Yes. But he didn't do any better. Like he didn't really go, okay, well, I gotta really fucking shine at Hudson Valley Community College so that I don't fuck up, you know. And
right.
But he didn't.
Oh.
But what he did do,
Porky.
He took his transcripts from Hudson Valley Community College. Now this is where you start thinking, okay, this person, this man, because he's a man. I'm sorry. If you're in college, are you a kid? Kinda. Could you make a case that what we consider everything we say 18 is the cutoff point, that you could say 21 might be the cutoff? Yeah, you could make a case for that. I think you can make a fine case for it. But this is 2004. He's a grown-ass person. And remember our old roommate, I'll just call him Mandro, who spent like 7 hours making the tiniest fucking cheat sheet for some test in the world. And if he had just taken the same amount of time and studied, he would have done better than trying to read his illegible fucking cheat sheet that he sweated on. And it
would literally be like an inch by like an inch. Like it was the tiniest thing.
But it had so many folds. It was like one of those things only girls could do.
Yeah.
The things that like went back and forth, and you guessed and you did numbers and opened up a flap, and it said that you were going to be a milkman or some shit. I don't know what the fuck it was called.
If you unfolded it, it was like a full like.
It was a whole paper, but the little flap they unfolded just told you your fortune. Anyway, so this is what, instead of studying,
right,
Christopher took his transcript from Hudson Valley Community College and he fucked with it so it looked like he got all A's and B's. And then what did he do? He went back to Rochester and said, hey, look at this. Let me back in. Because look at my transcript. I did really awesome.
Fucking killed it.
We'll just get the electronic.
You change like the F's to A's.
Yeah. Like, why are all your A's have squared off tops? Shut up. That's why.
Why is the right line a different color?
Yeah. And he made the D's B's just by drawing a line through the middle of them. But it worked. Like, I really gotta say that this is on the University of Rochester because they should have asked.
In 2004.
Yeah, but
you get an electronic copy for fuck's sake. Email had been invented. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, email had been invented. That's for sure. So he says they were like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, that's fine. And then he says to his parents,
dum-dums.
And this is the part that I don't understand. And I didn't bother to look into it because it's not really the point of the story. But he told his parents that one professor had misplaced his final exam, which is why he failed at Rochester, which is why he got kicked out. But now he was back. And because it had been the university's fault, they were going to pay for his semester because he shouldn't have been kicked out. They were going to foot the bill.
All right.
So hooray, right? But then he says, "Oh yeah, but I also need you got to give me like your fucking bank info, all the numbers on the bottom of the check. Give them over. I need them because I got to pay some fees. So give me your financial information."
The Nigerian prince wants this information.
Yeah, he's the prince. So that's the thing. He says to his parent, "Give me your financial information." And they're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And he
what a fucking
he got
so trusting.
A $31,000 loan from Citibank with the bank information, the financial information that he took from his parents, and then he forged his father's cosign signature, which isn't the whole point of cosigning is that you're there when you sign it.
That's what I thought. Like, I didn't think you could get away with that.
I mean, I'm just thinking that a
family member who was a notary.
This whole thing is an indictment of how institutions were run in fucking upstate New York
in the early 2000s.
So, he gets his $31,000, and then he forges his father's signature again, and gets a yellow Jeep Wrangler.
Nice. Savannah edition.
Which makes me wonder what the fuck was the $31,000 for? If he didn't buy if he had fucking cash. Why did he? I don't know. Anyway, he was rich. And he was at school. And everything was going great until his and technically the $31,000 was a student loan. So to be fair, it wasn't just like a small business loan where he said, "I'm really going to make this ice cream parlor work." He was smart, but he wasn't super, super smart. And this is going to come up again and again because he was smart enough to do all that, but he wasn't smart enough to realize that you get informed when shit happens to your credit.
Right.
So the father, was like, "Oh, well, this is funny. I tried to get, I went to the Wiz and I couldn't get a credit card to buy this dual cassette boombox that I really wanted to get. So I better check on my credit report. Oh no, I never got a $31,000 loan. And
what do you know?
what do you know? As a result, he emailed his son. See, I told you email would come back.
Oh, look at that.
He emailed him. Now, I mean, email was never a thing for my mother, but I can't imagine how great it must have been if you could just get emails from your parents instead of having to talk to them on the phone.
Yeah.
That's the greatest fucking concept that I could possibly imagine.
Well, that's now become texting. That's what texting is.
Yeah, but you're a good parent. Like, your kids want to talk to you.
Yeah, but I occasionally have to communicate with my mother as well.
Yeah, but that should just be, here, I'm going to write you this note on this bullet.
Here's this arrow here's this flaming arrow.
It's really important. I got to get it to you fast. So his father was like, listen, you little bastard.
You little son of a bitch.
I'm calling the bank, and they're going to get that $31,000 back. And the Jeep was another $16,000. And the father said in the email, I want you to know that if you abuse my credit again, I'll be forced to file forgery affidavits in order to disclaim liability. And that applies to the Citibank college loan. If you attempt to reactivate it or use my credit to obtain any other loans. What the... When we were his age...
What a loving family.
What... There's no part of my brain that would be like, I'm going to go to the bank and get a loan using my parents' credit. First of all, I wouldn't have gotten the loan. But second of all, I would
my
never.
Problem. So
it's not like that was the reason. It's not like I considered it and said,
we didn't do it. Right.
I'll never get it. We'll never catch him. Not in these shoes.
I don't know. There's something that I guess like some people are just willing to cross a line that others aren't. You know, they're just like the people that are willing to go into like their parents' purse and grab a 20 or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just never felt like crossing that line. Like, I don't know.
So,
and it wasn't out of respect or anything like that.
No. I'm not stealing your money, you bitch.
Anybody. I ain't stealing it because I make more than you.
That's right. You should be thankful.
And I'm working at a deli in high school.
So this is all.
What is it? All what?
Trouble for Christopher. It's trouble. Christopher's got trouble.
Trouble for the
because
porker.
he went from having all sorts of money and a sweet Jeep to still having the Jeep, but not having all the sweet money. Plus, his father's mad at him. Plus, he's still stupid, and he's not like the University of Rochester is going to find out fairly soon that his grades have not improved at all.
Being able to change an F to an A does not make you a good student.
So, as the catchphrase of our episodes is, then the roof caved in. Man, I got to get that sound clip for you to put it in.
All right. Yeah, I was unaware that is our catchphrase.
Well, it comes up kind of every episode. There's always a point at which the roof caves in, and at our point, it's November 15th, 2004.
I remember it well.
Peter Porco is supposed to be getting pictures of Spider-Man.
And Peter Porco, get out there and take the pop.
No, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, it would be Spider Pig from The Simpsons. It's like
Spider Pig.
Now he's Harry Flopper. So he didn't show up. He works for a court, and the court's like, "Well, that doesn't sound like our Peter. Hey, cop that just happens to be standing around because it's court. Go over to the house. Do a welfare check." So Officer Michael Hart goes over to Broccoli Lane. Not broccoli. It's to
Broccoli Lane.
It's in Del Mar. And There's a key in the front door. That's fishy.
Uh-oh. That's not a good sign.
So he opens the door, and there's Peter Porker on the floor, covered in blood.
Uh-oh. He'd been porked.
Yeah. He had been porked in the head. Massive head trauma. He's not alive, said the cop. So
poor little Porco.
He called 911. The rest of the cops came. They're looking around. Then they find Joan up in the bedroom, in the bed. Her left eye was gone. Her jaw was crushed. Many of her teeth had been knocked out, and her skull was fractured in several places. But she was alive.
Oh, lucky her.
The husband downstairs.
That night still has a chance to turn around.
Yeah. Husband downstairs, not so lucky.
Yeah.
But now, there was blood all over the downstairs. And this is it's kind of an interesting little side road. It's not the point of any of this, but I'm going to go down the side road just because I think it's kind of fascinating. It's sad, but it's also fascinating. So they found an axe next to the bed, and they deduced fairly quickly that was what had chopped all the holes in this couple's head. And the reason that there was blood all over the place was because Peter got hit just fucking right to give him the right kind of brain damage, so that the fact that he had been walloped in the fucking head with an axe multiple times was not registering.
Right.
So he went to the bathroom.
That must have been a pretty horrific sight.
Pee. He went downstairs and started making breakfast. Then he went out to get the paper. With axe wounds in his fucking head, he goes out to get the paper, locks himself out. Well, God damn it. That's a shitty, this is the worst thing that's happened to me all day, says Peter, who doesn't realize that he's been hit in the head with an axe.
Oh my God.
But he manages to get the hidden key, probably in a fake rock, and get back into the house until once he gets in the house, he must have gone, well, that's weird. Well, I never locked myself out of the, oh, wait, half my head is gone and I'm dead. Like, that's basically what happened.
Oh my God.
But the fact that he did all that other stuff, like when they say, oh, well, you could never do this, you could never do that. You can never say what a human body can or can't do. Because if your brain manages to fucking trick you into thinking that you haven't had your fucking head chopped open with an axe. If only there was a way for him to have only gotten the message that it doesn't really hurt, but I should really call an ambulance immediately. Like, it's so unhelpful, the stuff that his brain actually made him do. So he passed away, and there was that interesting other thing, which honestly, figuring out how to do an episode about people who do weird shit without their brains might be interesting. I did a little bit of research, but then it was super rabbit hole, so I didn't stay in it. So the wife, Joan, and I already went over her injuries.
Right.
Supposedly, and I'm going to say supposedly on this, because since this is a murder, there's already cops involved. We're going to have to talk about the cops.
I'm sure they're going to do a bang-up job in this investigation.
Well, I mean, they're middle-class white people, so probably. Supposedly, Detective Christopher Porco, while this woman's head is fucking chopped up, questions her. And he testified, "Can you hear me?" And she nodded. Now, how the fuck do you nod with your jaw chopped off and your eye out and your skull fractured? Like, it would seem to me the last thing that you would move in that instance is your fucking head.
Yeah.
But according to the detective, she nodded that she could hear him.
Well, that's because he had a keen sense. His senses are keener than yours.
Did your husband do this? No, she said.
Ah, it was the husband.
Did your son, did the husband do it and then chop himself up too? Did your son Christopher do it? And she nodded yes. Are you sure? Are you telling me that it was Christopher that did it? And she said yes. Now, I don't know how the fuck the cop knew Christopher was even a thing. And according to later testimony, 4 different people said that what happened while Joan was being stabilized and the detective was talking to her, he's the only one that said that happened. Everyone else said something else happened.
Really?
Yeah. She got rushed to the hospital. She got extensive surgery, big surprise. And I don't know how the fuck in medical history they came up with this being the idea, but they put her in a medically induced coma.
Right. To give the body time to heal.
Yeah, I guess. So she's in a coma. Husband's dead. And
where's Chris?
Well, Chris is at school. And the cops think it's Christopher. Why? I don't know. But they do.
Well, all right. So the guy said that the mom said Christopher. You said the other people said
yeah,
it
but
was
I don't know how the
different.
cops said, unless there was a fucking hand turkey on the fridge that said Christopher. I don't know why he would even know that there was a Christopher that was there. Unless, wait, maybe he knew the father from the court. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be it. Anyways, the cops didn't even have time to find him because that quote that I read at the open, that dead-voiced fucking soulless quote.
Yeah.
The newspaper called Christopher to interview him about his parents' death. Classy. When at that time he had not heard that his parents were dead. So again, super classy. And then after he talked to them, he called the cops. And I listened to the whole call. He might as well have been like reporting that a noisy neighbor would elicit more emotion than he had. Now, you can't fault anybody for how they react to a death or the news of a death or anything like that, because it's always different and none of it is wrong. And unless they fucking rub their hands together and do a evil villain laugh like Mr. Burns, there's no way to say, oh, because you reacted like this must mean you had something to do with it. However, he did seem very not concerned about what had happened.
Are you looking for a new podcast to listen to? Are you looking to fill your library up? Well, then you found me. Hi, my name is Michaela, and I'm the host of Murder Squared. Here we talk about the solved, the unsolved, the missing, the murdered, and pretty much anything and everything in between. Murder Squared is available on all major podcasting platforms. So, if you're ready, get squared away and let's talk murder.
So They talk to him. His uncle's going to bring him down to Albany from school. And he doesn't seem super upset, but what are you going to do? He comes back to town and the police are compiling their evidence. So the phone line to the house had been cut.
Right.
Now, they had an alarm. And the alarm company said, yeah, the phone got cut at 4:59 a.m. because we know that's when the alarm system stopped communicating with us because the phone was cut.
Right.
And the alarm thing was all smashed up. The alarm, like little box where you put the code in.
The box,
Yeah, the box. Except the alarm company also said, yeah, but the alarm had been turned off 2.5 hours earlier using the code.
Yeah, but that just means that I guess whoever broke in didn't know that it was off. So somebody kind of dumb.
Well, no, because that would mean at 2:30 in the morning, somebody turned off the code.
Right.
Then luckily, that's when the murderer showed up and then cut the phone line.
Right.
Drawers got pulled out, but none of the stuff that was in the drawers was spilled out. And apparently, that's a huge sign that some dumbass is trying to do a fake robbery.
Fake toss.
Yeah. Because you don't really want to mess anything up, but you open up all the drawers, in case somebody's going to hide their fucking money on top of their underwear and not under it. So
that's where I keep all mine.
You know what? It would be a great fucking place to they have all these the safe, this book is a safe, and this is a safe, blah, blah, blah. The bottom of the hamper. The bottom of a false bottom in the hamper. No one's digging down in there.
Nope.
No one's going to fucking
diaper genie
rifle through those bacon strips to get that sweet, I don't know, bond.
Possibility of anything?
Yeah. Bonds, I think. Treasury, T-bills, baby.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, fucking all my Bitcoin are in my underwear.
Get all my crypto.
So the axe had been in the home prior to the attack. The dog had been locked in the basement.
Uh-oh. Well, But
they had a cashier's check from Peter Porco made out to the Sarasota Springs court to pay for a traffic ticket that Christopher incurred.
Oh, Jesus.
And that had blood on it. And just like when the laptops got stolen, the screen in the garage window had been cut.
She's playing the same tune again, huh?
Except Peter Porco fucking shoved a cork in that particular bassoon.
Pickled peppers.
Yes, Peter Porco's piccolo pecker. he had drilled the fucking window and put 2 screws in it so it wouldn't go higher than 4 inches. Because he's like, no one's stealing our laptops again. 2 laptop thefts in 1 year, that's enough. Why do they like our laptops so much?
Everybody else has laptops. Why
it's 2004. Maybe it was one of those sweet Sony Vios. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
The cops were like, well, if the guy cut the screen to get in, and he obviously couldn't get in, then how the fuck did he get in?
Magic.
Now, they knew there was a hidden key because poor brain damaged Peter had used it to get back into the house. They just didn't like any of this. So they brought Christopher into the police station and they interviewed him. However, in very fancy Law and Order style, they fucked it up and the whole interview was inadmissible because this guy, Mr. Polster, went to the police station and said, I am Christopher Porco's lawyer. Let me talk to him. And he testified that the cops did not let him in at all. And they had like a retrospective on the case, probably at like Crime Con or something. I don't know, some fucking thing. Anyway, they were talking about it. And the prosecutor goes, yeah, that was basically, he was kind of pissed because he says Chris was agreeing to answer all the questions, but then the lawyer guy showed up and the cops came out and was like, oh, there's someone here saying that he's the guy's lawyer. You know, do we have to let him talk to him?
Oh, boy.
And the prosecutor said, well, it's up to Chris to decide who his lawyer is. Somebody just can't come in and say, I'm your lawyer.
Right, I'm your lawyer. Unless
you agree. So go ask Chris if this guy is his lawyer. And the cops, because they're fucking assholes. Now, I'm not rooting for Chris Porco in this fucking situation. Please don't misunderstand me. However, even the prosecutor was like, yeah, well, the cops didn't really do what I told them to do. Because they said, hey, that guy John at the hospital, is he your lawyer? It was the same guy. Chris was like, no, he's a friend of my dad's. I don't see how he could be my lawyer. He's my dad's friend. And they're like, oh, okay, so you're all right talking to us? And Chris was like, yeah. So he didn't say the guy's out there saying he's your lawyer. They basically just said, hey, did you ever see that Jodie Foster alien movie? You mean Contact? Yes. So that was how they fucking thought they were being all smart. And the judge was like, yeah, no, you should have fucking told him exactly what was happening, not ask him some vaguely related question, you fucking assholes.
It's like Fargo when he goes, I'm going to go talk to my manager about this. He just goes and he talks about the fucking hockey tickets.
Go first? Yeah. You wouldn't have a couple extra tickets, would you? You serious? So he ain't never done this before. He's going to knock $250 off that True Coat. Anyway, so then throughout the trial, it became this evidence was tainted, and if you hadn't had this evidence, which you weren't supposed to have, it wouldn't have worked, because this is when Chris gave his alibis,
right?
How he was proving that he wasn't there. And unfortunately for Chris, he also told like basically anybody else that asked him the same set of alibis. He said he told it to his uncle. He told it to his friends at school. He told it to everybody. He said, I gave up my room at school for the president of his fraternity who was visiting, and I slept in the lounge. Then I got up to go for a run. I snuck into my room long enough to get my sneakers. I went for a run. I hung out with some of my friends, and then I got the call from the newspaper.
Killed my parents.
No, that's not his story at all. That's what he said happened. He also said, when they asked him about the alarm, he said, well, the dog would have to go out like at like 2 or 3 in the morning a lot of the times. So, sometimes his father would let the dog out and then forget to set the alarm when he went back to bed. Except, again, that pesky alarm company was like, yeah, well, we keep 15 days worth of records, and not one time was the alarm turned off in the middle of the night for anyone to pee outside. So either the dog was peeing inside or Chris was full of shit.
Right.
And he said, oh, well, I had emailed my father about school financial aid. My father had just co-signed a Jeep for me. and paid the last 2 payments. That was all a lie because his father was all pissed at him, as we've already learned.
Right.
Then he was like, is my mother coherent? Can she like talk? Not can I talk to my mother, but can my mother talk?
Can she possibly point at me?
Right. Could she nod her poor fucking tattered head that I tattered?
Oh.
So it wasn't looking good. It was not looking good because the cops had this information and they went to the school and they were like, hey, this is what he said happened. And all his friends on the floor were like, yeah, no, we watched. He wasn't in the lounge all night. Well, how do you know? Because we were all in there. What were you doing? Watching Shrek 2.
Oh, these wild college kids.
Yeah. So they were all watching Shrek 2. So they didn't see him. And they were like, yeah, no, we didn't see him jogging and we didn't hang out with him in the morning or anything like that. Like none of the things he said happened. None of them.
Yeah.
Not one. So that didn't look good for Chris. And then they found out that when he was at school, he started telling people that he was going to get a $2.8 million gift from his grandma. And the cops were like, well, what's that all about? And he was like, well, I just wanted to sound like a big shot. And
was that how much his parents' life insurance was?
Well, I don't think it was exactly that much, but it wasn't nothing.
Right.
So then he'd also been with his ex-girlfriend and he started talking about buying real estate. And he said, yeah, no, I was just pumping myself up. You know, I was trying to flex to get my old girlfriend back, whatever. And it all boils down to the fact that he was not at school when he said he was at school.
No.
Nobody could put him at the school until after 8 a.m. on the morning of the 15th. After.
That gives him plenty of time.
Well, it even got better than that. Because this is where cops, this is the kind of shit that cops are good at. They said, all right, well, obviously the fucking kid drove up there and killed his parents and then drove back. Like that has to be what happened. It has to be.
Right.
And they canvassed the neighborhood, and that, honestly, if they told me at cop school that 95% of my job was going to be talking to people and asking them questions and having to write everything down, I'd be like, let the crimes occur. I will never fucking catch anyone. I'm always the one that says, can't we just record the Zoom so that I don't have to take notes?
No.
And they canvassed the neighborhood, and one of the Porco's neighbors goes, well, yeah, we saw the yellow Jeep in the driveway early in the morning. Dun, dun, dun.
It's not really an inconspicuous car.
No, it's a yellow goddamn Jeep. So they're like, let's go check the security cameras at the university. Well, they found a yellow Jeep leaving campus at 10:36 p.m. and returning at 8:30 a.m. the following morning.
Yeah, it was probably a different yellow Jeep.
Then they checked the toll booths. Now,
everything's on camera, and this is 15 years ago.
Yeah. The person at the toll booth leaving Rochester said that he saw a yellow Wrangler at about 10:45. Now, why the fuck would you remember that? If can you imagine the fucking toll takers remembering you? That's crazy. Unless he had like a big pussy wagon fucking like decal.
Wearing like a foam cowboy hat or something like that.
And the back seat's nothing but a giant speaker. Anyway,
so like a real doll in the passenger seat.
Oh Lord, I'm going in the fucking HOV lane. So the toll taker on the Albany side said that they saw a yellow Wrangler go through at about 1:51 in the morning. Well, that checks out. And she said that the reason that she remembered it is because he was fucking screaming up to the toll booth like really fast, and she was worried that he wasn't going to stop.
Oh my God.
So he was in a big hurry to do his dastardly deeds. So then here's another little fun thing about how the fucking toll ticket system at least worked back then. So the toll takers wear gloves, and when you push the button for the ticket to come out, the ticket comes out of a box, and the toll attendant would take it with their gloves and hand it to the motorist. And the motorist would then, I don't know, do whatever, lick it, stick it up their ass, whatever, use it as
it's either of those things.
Toothpick. And then when they give it at the other toll booth at the other end, they put it in a box, and the box goes to where they keep them all.
Huh.
They keep them all. Why?
So they have all of our fingerprints?
I guess, but then you wouldn't know because it doesn't put your license number on it. I mean, now it does because they take pictures of everything. But anyways, so they were like, well, all right, well then if that's how it is, and we got a warehouse with all these fucking tickets in them, the Stadies were like, well, let's go find all the tickets that started in Rochester and ended in Albany and see if we can't, get the fucking guy, his fingerprints. They didn't get any fingerprints. And then they were like, well, maybe we can get DNA. And they got DNA, but they didn't get enough to actually do anything with. So then they were kind of stuck.
How'd they get it? Did they see how they got it?
No, but I told you, the ass thing.
It wasn't a sock.
No, he just, maybe that's true too. So then they were like, they found a lab, and months later,
right,
while they were still working the case, they found out about this place in Pennsylvania that would test for mitochondrial DNA, which is not as solid a match as nuclear DNA.
That's more of like a familial match.
Yes, but it's better than nothing. So they were like, all right, well, yeah, take our fucking thing and go check it out. And so they tested it, and they're like, yeah, well, we did get a profile off it, and it's not as good as nuclear DNA. However, the person whose DNA this is has a rare condition that 99.6% of the population does not have. So only 0.4% of the population has this thing that this DNA had.
What is it?
And they were like, all right.
Constant boners.
Yes. The Scotty stay up at night worrying if getting boners at night makes him gay, because I have. So they crunched the numbers on it, and they found out that in New York State, for registered drivers, the 0.4% represented only 76,000 people in the whole state.
Right.
Then when you take out New York City, it drops to 44,000. So then they were like, all right, well, what the fuck? How many of the 44,000 people in this entire state went between Rochester and Albany, Rochester and Albany in the middle of the fucking night on this particular night?
On this night, yeah.
They said, send us Chris's DNA.
Was it more than one?
Well, they sent, it would have had to have been, because when they checked Chris's DNA, he had the thing. He had the 0.4% thing. So he got indicted for the murder and attempted murder. He got both. Because the mother didn't die.
Mom never ended up dying from those wounds?
Nope, she did not die, and it gets weirder than that, because she, when she woke up, had no recollection of anything that had happened. Number one. Number two, believed that her son was innocent. He would never have done anything like that. And she walked him into the courthouse.
Oh, my God.
During the trial. Now, I'm not going to, like, fucking shit on her because her head was chopped up.
Yeah, yeah.
So, during the trial, I mean, basically he got destroyed in the fucking trial, like just destroyed.
Well,
because,
yeah. Well,
like they
as he should,
because the cops were showing, like, soon after the murders and everything like that, they just found pictures of him at parties at school, like just going to kegs and stuff like that, and he kept speeding around the court parking lot on his way to trial.
Geez.
And the fucking judge had to tell the lawyer, like, hey, he almost ran over the jury.
Oh my God.
So tell him to stop speeding all over the fucking parking lot.
Tell him to stop doing donuts in the parking lot.
Exactly. I mean, maybe his thought was, well, if I wipe out the jury, then I'll be fine. So he wasn't doing great. His brother was like, yeah, no, I don't. My brother knew that our parents had life insurance policies. Now, the defense's argument, which on its face be pretty good, they're probably like, you've seen crime shows, you know that you can't get rid of all the blood. There's no way. He didn't have any blood on him. They impounded the yellow Jeep like immediately, and they didn't find any blood in there. So how's he going to chop those people up and not have any blood on them?
Yeah.
Now the prosecution, but so the prosecution said, well, see, the thing is, the blood all came when the father just started meandering around the house with his head chopped up. When Chris left, they were both in the bed, and the blood spatter, the Dexter part of everything, showed that where he had been swinging the axe, this is where he would have had to have been standing. There was a chair right next to him. The chair didn't have any blood on it at all. The bed did.
Because he would have been blocking it.
But just because of the way he did it, it's very possible. And they were like, it was his house, so he could have had other clothes, and he could have thrown the other clothes out the window. Like, you can't know any of that. Plus, and this is stupid, he worked at a veterinarian's and was trained in getting blood off of him. I'm like, well,
really?
I mean, like, how do you not be trained at getting blood off you? Stop licking it. Kenny. So that didn't work out for him.
No.
None of that. And then the defense said, well, he has no history of violence. And then the prosecution gave, 10,000 examples of people that had no history of violence. So,
you know who else was
the thing is that to acquire a history of violence, you have to start being violent at some point. And the other dumbest one that the defense did, you know what, I'm going to save that one for last, because the alternative suspects part, there was the guy who had it in for Peter Porker because of court stuff. Like when the guy said he was going to get Fred Flintstone, because Fred Flintstone was in the jury. There was that.
But he was a fucking clerk. He wasn't like the attorney general. Like
Peter, the father, had a fucking uncle who was a mobster named Frankie the Fireman.
Frankie the Fireman, that guy.
Yeah, so they were like, well, maybe Frankie the Fireman killed him. I don't know why, but he's a mobster, so they do bad shit, so maybe it was him. Now,
they called him that because of his fucking hose.
Yeah, Frankie the Fireman did not fucking talk to the cops. Big surprise there. Yeah, but he also was like, I'm not talking to the cops, fuck you. So The other two,
the cops,
they also said that somebody saw 2 cars speeding away on the street, and
2.
Yeah, 2 cars. And the cops were like, yeah, well, we asked the person and they said it was 2 cars. So with that to go on, we did not find them. And also, the guy that had threatened Peter Porker had alibis because he had done a bunch of swipe card stuff, that morning and whatever like that. So they were like, forget it. And so when you put all the circumstantial evidence together, basically you have a pretty good set of, he wanted the insurance money. I don't know what he thought. Maybe he was going to kill his brother too, so that he got all of it. Like, I don't know, like he would have had to split it with his brother, presumably. I don't think he wasn't super smart. So he left, he drove up there, he killed him.
Right.
He drove back, had a terrible alibi.
Yes.
Left. Oh, the dummiest one was, well, did you, the defense was like, well, you didn't find any credit card receipts for gas, right?
Oh.
And they were like, yeah, no, we didn't. And he's like, well, that's proof that it couldn't have been him. And they're like, why is that proof? Well, what young person has cash?
Cash.
That was their actual.
Oh.
No one's going to pay for gas in cash. And now I could buy that. For me, I'm not going in the fucking store. If I put my credit card thing in the pump and it says, see cashier, I just leave. I don't want to talk to anybody.
That's troubling.
I want to do my business. And so, big surprise, he got convicted. He, 1 count of second-degree murder, which I don't even know why it was second degree, because he went like a very far way to do it. That's as premeditated as you get. And attempted murder for the mother. And
so the contention was that he didn't go there with the intent to kill them. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, I guess the judge said the judge gave him 25 years to
nice
life.
Boy's life.
Yeah, right.
Just for one mistake.
Just one mistake. He's got such a bright future at Hudson Valley Community College. Look at these A's and B's. So the judge sentenced him to 25 years to life for each for the murder and the attempted murder. And he said, quote, I fear very much what happened in the early morning hours of November 15th is something that could happen again. Which,
well, he doesn't have 2 more parents.
Yeah, that's what the defense should have said. Your Honor, it's highly unlikely. His mother had to have a whole new head put on her. She'll be in debt forever. So he went through all his appeals. He didn't get just a basically blah blah blah, a bunch of court shit. And Peter Porco is in jail. He will be eligible for parole in 2052.
Oh, good. He'll be there for a while.
That's a long way away. So the moral of the story
unless you're
is,
listening and it's after then, and then that would be pretty cool.
If I'm still paying for the hosting 30 years from now,
maybe it'll be in some archive somewhere.
We'll be in the fucking Smithsonian is where we'll be.
Woo!
Yep. Because and not because of the show, because of the hamper safe.
Well, all right. Yes, the hamper safe.
I mean, it makes sense to me. So that's the story of the horrible murder of Peter Porco, which side trip into what the fuck maybe this whole brain damage thing is episode worthy.
Did they ever, like, did Chris ever say why he did it?
No, he said he didn't do it.
He never admitted to doing it.
No.
Or he hasn't admitted to doing it in the 15 years.
He kept just coming up with cockamamie fucking. As a matter of fact, one thing I listened to, the guy wrote him a letter in prison, and the letter came back all filled with bullshit.
Right. Wow.
So now, you know, the kind of fucked up things that we had in the pipe for the last episode of season 6, and now we did this relatively tame episode.
Relatively.
And I think that the reason
axe
why
to the head
is that season 7 is going to be nothing but 100% blown out madness.
Balls out.
We'll start out with
action.
I have to find a case where a woman gave birth, or somebody found a stone baby and used it to kill someone.
Yeah, that'll be the big.
It has to have happened.
No, it doesn't.
You know what? And if you don't even know what I'm talking about, then guess what?
In a universe, maybe not in our universe.
You gotta be on the old Patreon, because we're gonna do a chill time and talk about fucking stone babies.
Sweet.
I think that's a lot of fun.
What the fuck is a stone baby?
We're gonna find out. I'm gonna tell you all about it. And then you're going to be like, I didn't want to know that. And we're going to get back to our roots of telling people shit they didn't want to know. None of this fucking interesting stuff.
CJS, you need to become a patron. You cheap bastard.
That's right. Bastards.
You know who you are.
You know.
And you know the kind of quality content that you get for being a patron.
You know, that's
where
a lot of shows will like do shout outs to their patrons. Our gimmick of doing negative shout outs to people who aren't patrons.
That's the way to
really
build your
pad
audience.
The show out, because that's a long list.
That's how you build your audience.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Shame. Ashamed at ourselves for doing episodes like this. But don't worry, like I'm trying to say, season 7, just I don't know, prepare yourself. 7. There's not going to be any Oakville blobs in season 7.
No Oakville blobs.
Tell everybody where to find us, so I don't have to.
You can find everything Strangeful Things at allmylinks.com/strangeful things.
That's right. You can go to patreon.com/strangeful, or you can just hit me up on Twitter and get the Discord link. Shuey can't give you the Discord
if you really
link.
wanna.
He didn't know where the Discord is.
I can barely find it half the time, to be honest.
But anyway, it's awesome.
I occasionally tell people how nice their pets are, though.
Yes, that is true. You do that. Listen.
I try to make sure to do that.
All, thank you for making season 6 so marvelous. We're sorry that we got coronavirus so many fucking times.
And that it took almost a year exactly to complete.
Yeah, but we got shit going on. It's not going to be like that again.
It will not.
It will not. All right.
It will not.
What should we have?
So between seasons, everybody just make sure to keep on flapping.
Bye-bye.